Thank you everyone for coming to Kick Gallery Collingwood. I don't think it's any secret anymore that this gallery has got its days numbered. We have 6 weeks of being open. This is our final solo exhibition, and that's after 6 years of running what's been a very successful gallery. And I really want to just before we get to the main event, which is Tim Vagg's exhibition, I just want to make it really clear that Kick Gallery is not essentially closing. This is an evolution in what I do. It's a chance for me to work with my artists in a way that will develop their careers further. It'll develop all of us personally as well. So there's going to be a hiatus of 1 year. That doesn't mean that you can't email me and ask to buy some art and, you know, in fact invite me for dinner. I'm very open for dinner parties in 2016, so everyone take note. It's not a sad occasion. That's the point that I'm trying to make, is that you know, we've had a really good run. 6 years Collingwood, 8 years High Street Northcote. That's 14 years. I started this when I was 27, and the first exhibition that I produced in High Street Northcote was with this guy. And you know, it's pretty remarkable that we've gone from Beatnik Gallery in High Street Northcote, where literally after the first show I didn't even know who was the next show, to becoming an international gallery, a gallery that has participated in major art fairs and has sold to international collectors with private museums in Kuala Lumpur, blah blah blah. It's pretty wild, and there's more of that. And it's just, we're not going to make the next jump without, in a sense, pressing pause and coming back again. So I hope everyone understands that and gets the drift, and I hope everyone's going to have a really good night tonight. And without further ado, I would like to, well, first I need to say congratulations to Tim Vagg. Extraordinary 12th solo show at Kick Gallery in 14 years. You know, that's pretty sleek. I don't know what we've done in the other 2 years. In fact, I don't remember it. But anyway, Tim, well done. Great camaraderie that we have, and it's going to continue in the future. And tonight we have a colleague, a friend, a strong supporter of the gallery, Catherine Asquith, who used to run her own gallery in Collingwood as well. Catherine and I somehow speak the same language. It's one of those things where art dealers speak to art dealers and have secret codes and handshakes and stuff. But without further ado, I'll pass Catherine on. She is going to give a little rendition on what's happening in the room in terms of the artwork. And once again, thank you all for your support, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
When Jake asked me to open his final exhibition at Kick Gallery Collingwood, I actually felt rather humbled, but I was really excited, not so much about my speaking, I expect the jury still out about that, but rather with an end to this chapter in mind. Clearly there is a new era on the horizon for Jake, so I'm really excited for him in his next chapter. And as they say in the classics, one door closes and another opens. Or as quoted in yesterday's Sydney Morning Herald, which you actually mentioned then, Jake will press pause and focus. And so how fitting, therefore, that Kick Gallery's final exhibition in Collingwood presents a body of work by an Australian artist whose thematic concerns for the past decade have centred on a notion of reassessment. Although I would add, as a sidebar, as Jake mentioned, it's not really a coincidence. Tim and Jake have had and enjoyed a very impressive collaboration for the past 14, I'm sorry. You remember that one. Those of you who have followed Tim Vagg's work over recent years will be aware that his raison d'etre for the past decade has been to explore and examine the Australian identity. You will also have observed Tim's development of a truly unique style, one in which extraordinary characters are brought to life in an irresistibly engaging manner. From his coiffed, tattooed female boxer, clearly past her prime, but intent on sparring nevertheless, as seen in his 2011 exhibition, to Elle est une belle fille, which translates She's a bonne Sheila, of 2012, to an ensemble of army-uniformed men and women whose military stoicism is completely annihilated by the title of the work, and Zachary, which is clearly a play on the word monarchy, and that was from last year's exhibition. So, to a degree, Tim Vagg as artist is the quintessential Aussie larrikin. A boisterous, often badly behaved young man, yet badly behaved only because he demands a reassessment. A larrikin, as he has clearly a disregard for convention. Indeed, he's something of a maverick. But I would add an intelligent one at that. What I personally like about Tim's work is that not only does he reference history and thereby recontextualises it by the virtue of this very act, but moreover, he actually says something relevant, something socially necessary. His concerns are legitimate, and he demands us to learn the lessons of history. But will we? There are a number of factors which will inform this new exhibition, #anti-selfie, the Humiliation Perspective. A key impetus has been the deliberate attempt on Tim's part to discover, or rather rediscover, gestural painting, utilising a combination of aerosol and enamel paint, which has largely dictated the stylistic elements of these works, and incorporating a 1980s punk palette, making for an often jarring and unsettling coloration. These works nevertheless capture a vitality and youthfulness, redolent of the visceral graffiti that permeates much of our urban life. Take, for example, the extraordinary panel work down over on that wall. Cool. Got 3 pieces, I think. One, I'm not going to do the hashtags, can't do hashtag word, hashtag word. But it's hashtag self-esteem engine on the left, hashtag check me in the middle, and hashtag apparatus that's socially awkward on the right. Now, installed together, these works create a tableau, certainly in art historical terms, but also to an extent reference a social media platform feed. The discernible, angry, brutal brushwork, the heavy black outlining of the figures or protagonists within these paintings, harness and immediacy. Indeed, the mediums of aerosol and enamel paint have inherent expressive qualities and offer an arbitrary characteristic. Another aspect which has informed this new body of work rests with Tim's desire to undertake in self-portraiture, the genre very new to him as an artist. Having seen Martin Kippenberger's works on a visit to Hong Kong in March this year, the German painter's pathos-filled self-portraits of the 1980s and 1990s, with their attenuating exaggeration and unflattering self-deprecation, struck a chord with Tim and helped to validate his new direction. Some of you might actually be familiar with a very well-known photograph of Picasso standing in a puffed-up state, of undress rather, on the steps of a chateau from 1962. Well, Kippenberger actually parodied this image, and he adopted it as a motif in a series of 1988 self-portraits. And Kippenberger depicted himself with white briefs pulled up high over his exaggerated belly as he turned to examine himself in the mirror. Clearly a precursor to the selfies we see these days. And to an extent we see a reiteration of this in Tim's Humiliation, which is the small intimate piece just here. Tim also took inspiration from reading social commentator Anne Mann's new book, The Life of Art, The New Culture of Narcissism, a timely examination of an observed increase in the proportion of narcissists in our society, people who are completely obsessed with their own feelings, thoughts, views and interests. In Tim's opinion, the selfie, this digital and disposable dumbness, which has become endemic on a global scale, sets up people for failure. As a society, we are developing lifestyle envy, a culture of online shaming, and not to mention that most unpalatable of darker human traits, the belligerency of trolling. Consolidating all these former factors and feeling the need to take a risk, Tim felt confident enough to divert his attention back to the individual, away from the group, and in a sense personalise his social commentary. Hence his brave inclusion of some less than flattering self-portraits, albeit clearly exaggerated, alongside these other self-conscious individuals. To my mind, a good artist provokes dialogue, and I contend that with this new exhibition by Tim Vagg, we are prompted to consider the potential repercussions of this self-obsessed and yes, banal aspect to our society. Notwithstanding that I will suggest practically everyone here this evening participates in social media on one level or another. I know it's clearly very seductive. But be that as it may, we are compelled by Tim Vagg's Humiliation project, an abject protest to the narcissism of the selfie, to press pause and focus. Congratulations, Tim.
Thank you so much. For your insightful words. It was truly a treat. I was very lucky to have Catherine open the show and spend some time with her and talk about the works and enjoy her very thorough analysis.
Oh, aren't you gorgeous?
Orchids, I hope you like orchids.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Oh, well done, mate.
We just thank to Catherine on I won't talk too long. I'm sure we'd all like to just have a drink and check out the works. I just want to thank a few people. Thank obviously Jake, Catherine. I'd like to thank my partner Layla, my daughter Frida, my mum and dad, my family, and all my friends who supported not only myself but Jake since the beginning. We've always had a strong army of supporters the whole time. We've never felt alone, really, on our journey. Oh, come on. Oh, except for that. I won't hold you any longer. I don't think I necessarily go into a big, I did have a written thing I was going to go into, but I think I'll just keep it pretty brief. But I just want to thank you all again. Enjoy the work, have a wine, and I just want to say thanks.